Howdy there, I'm that indie games guy, and if you're here, then you're exactly like me. You love indie games and want to know what games will be coming out in the future. Or if you're watching this from the future, games that have already been released. This video, I'll explore a whole list of indie games that are set to be released shortly. These could be games you've already wishlisted, or unknown gems. Let me know in the comments below if you like the look of any of these games, and let the video commence. Let's start this list off with a bang, and one of the most wishlisted indie games at the moment. This is Sovereign Syndicate, a Victorian steampunk RPG with tarot cards instead of dice. Investigate the disappearance of society's most valuable to uncover a mysterious cult. You can play as 3 different characters, each with their own set of unique skills and motivations for wanting to assist on this case. Investigate, interact, and take action to leave your mark on the world and its inhabitants. No random stat points here, no. Use your skills to level them up, and trust that fate is on your side with the tarot card chance system. A really fantastic and amazing game mechanic is the feature that instead of rolling, it won't be a d20 like you're probably used to in a lot of games, it'll be a tarot card choice. NPCs react to your gender, race, appearance, and choice of dialogue, so you better look and act the part if you want the right results. But not everything is certain. Luck plays a massive role in the game, and it's all down to the card that you'll pull when the time comes to it. Let's just hope you don't get the death card, eh? This open world game looks amazing. The tarot card system is something I've never seen before, and it is something completely new, and I really hope it works for them. And the story with all 3 characters intertwining will mean no matter who you choose to play, you'll be in for a ride that will affect all the characters. Now it's time to really jump into the past. You've just got home from school, you load up Miniclip, and you see it there waiting for you. The Fancy Pants Adventures. It's a no-brainer what you're going to be playing, right? And now it's being remastered and given to us one more time. The Fancy Pants Adventures Classic Pack is a collection of the original Fancy Pants games, the renowned series that set the bar for Flash games and defined a generation of platformers, being rebuilt and remastered by the very same creator, Brad Bourne. The beloved game will be releasing in early access to allow the developer time to give each game the true love they deserve. On release, the game will feature the first world, along with the remix version, and the other worlds will be added at a later date. This game was a massive part of my childhood, and I never actually finished them looking back at it, so this will be a great chance for me to play them in order, and the fact that it's being remastered by the very same creator, it's like it was always meant to be. Following on, we have Contain, a tactical co-op FPS, where you'll need to form your squad of up to 4 players to fight and take down the anomalies that have broken loose. It's down to you to try and contain them where the line between ordinary and extraordinary is blurred. There is an organisation that directs many task forces that are trying to control objectives from supernatural origins that have fallen from space. The story centres on the special task force that has been sent to get the material. You can play the game in a group of up to 4 people to create the task force. Or if you fancy a solo mission, you can go all lone wolf to handle the threat. You'll be able to fully customise your character to become as unique as possible, and your weapons can be fully upgraded to make the fight a little bit easier against them unknown creatures. Contain is really giving me GTFO vibes, and that game was amazing, so I really hope that they can use this early access period to push the game to its limits. The next game on the list is the one that I'm most looking forward to, as it's just right up my street with the types of games I enjoy playing at the moment. This is No Case Should Remain Unsolved, an interactive adventure detective game where players uncover and piece together different memory fragments to solve a long forgotten case. The game will have you following a former police detective as she acquires clues and testimonies relating to the case of a missing girl. No Case Should Remain Unsolved at the heart is a puzzle game, very much like a jigsaw, in which you'll be given smaller parts or pieces of information to do with the case, and you'll need to sew them all together to uncover the bigger picture. You'll truly feel like the detective here, as it'll be down to you to look over everything that you might have missed in the past and slowly but surely put it all together. The art style is what has completely drawn me into this game. It's a stunning black and white pixelated graphics adventure, with pops of colour when needed for images, and I just find it so beautiful. The contrast in the colours just makes me want to know what's going on. I can't wait to jump into this game and see what happens within the case, and hopefully make sure that we find out what happened to that missing girl. Moving along now to The Last Flame, a auto-battler strategy roguelike, in which you'll guide a righteous party of heroes through many challenges that await you in the world. You'll need to recruit heroes to join your party, face off against grand-sized bosses that stand in your way, and loot and craft new weapons or items to help you continue your journey. It should feel like no run will ever be the same, with the game having 55 heroes, 250 items and multiple other random factors that happen when you're on the run. You'll have to figure out on the fly the best way to venture forth, as you just don't know what team you're going to have, and it is a very low % chance that you'll have the same team as any of your previous runs, so you're gonna have to learn. The Last Flame will be releasing into early access. The base game that will be released will have a lot of content already, but the developers have stated that they wish to use this time to better balance the game once released. Release new heroes, items, levels and much more, so I can see the game at least doubling in size once the fully released game has been released. I'm a massive fan of teamfight tactics and the auto battler genre, so the fact that this game basically is that but as a roguelike, I think it's going to be amazing. So if The Last Flame can give me anything like other auto battlers, but with a really amazing adventure that won't make me forget what happens, I know we'll be in for a treat with this one. All Quiet in the Trenches is a narrative turn-based strategy RPG set within World War I. The game is all about survival, and you'll need to get to know the people around you, take care of their needs, and lead them into a gruesome battle that is likely to always have casualties. Do you take your commands from above and win at all costs? Or do you worry about the lives of your men, and will possibly sacrifice the mission to ensure safety? You'll play as a German officer who has been tasked with a unit on the Western Front. You'll need to give out tasks to the people who surround you, and try to ensure survival. Food and water is a limited supply, as the supply lines won't always be able to bring in goods, so it'll be down to you to ensure people are rested and fed, or you'll have to make them go without, in the hope that you get some the next day. Your decisions between the needs of the soldiers and the demands of the superiors result in a unique story each time, but your choices don't change the war, they change the lives of the soldiers. Another game that'll be hitting early access at first. You'll be able to play through the first year of the game, which is from 1915 through to 1916. During this time, you'll have 10 different soldiers underneath you, all with different skills. The final version of the game will feature all the way up till 1918. More troops, more events, and more story arcs, but sadly worst of all, they're going to be adding in illness, so it kind of means the game will get harder. Let's be honest, space is a pretty big place, and I bet it can get pretty lonely, so if you ever find yourself up there, make sure you take this game, LONESTAR, a strategic roguelike spaceship deck builder. As a bounty hunter, you will capture criminals scattered across the universe. You'll need to win battles, collect better loot to upgrade your ship, and become the legend that everyone loves, but kind of also fears. Combat works by each ship firing at the same time. The lasers will connect like it's Dragon Ball Z, and the ship with the highest stats will win the fight. I love this idea of a fight. No surprise attacks or underhanded tactics, it's just all about the ship and the parts that you've already equipped to it. There are hundreds of different treasures, each with a unique function. Add the fact that each ship behaves differently, and depending on the units that you add to the ship afterwards, could mean the difference in having overwhelming power, or it just not working. It'll be down to you to make sure you do the research before you add anything to your ship. And for now, same as the last few games, LONESTAR will be releasing into early access. They're wanting feedback from players regarding the game to make it as good as possible. Throughout the development, they'll be looking towards adding another ship to the roster and more weapons, so each time you travel, it'll feel completely different. You know what, I hope I'll catch you out in space. Let's take a look next at Fractured Veil, An open world survival crafting game set on a beautiful tropical island. But the downside is that it has some weird zombie mutants and other people who are trying to kill you and probably steal your stuff. But at least it looks pretty, right? Survive an apocalyptic nightmare alone, or with friends, where you must gather, build, quest, craft, raid and defend what you have in this survival game. The game is giving me Rust or Ark vibes, with it being PvP and PvE. It's all about finding the right balance in those games, as you don't want it to feel like you've just wasted loads of times if someone steals your stuff, so I hope they can get that part right. The whole game looks amazing, with realistic day and night cycles. The map is a real world location, which is just crazy to me, and it's based on the location of Mau. Think of it this way, it's like a cheaper holiday. You'll get to explore the location if it's somewhere you're never going to go to normally. Now, there is one part that I'm not 100% sure on at the moment, and that is the AI drone that flies around the map permanently streaming to Twitch. It states that it wants to get the action and film PvPvE, but it just seems a little weird to me. Maybe I just don't fully understand it yet, but that's my only worry with the game. Next up, we have Kebab Chefs, a restaurant simulator. A co-op cooking and restaurant management game where you'll need to design and create your own kebab restaurant. It'll be down to you and the gang to create the menu, cook the food when the customers come in, and push towards the title of Best Kebab Shop in Town. You'll start with a pretty bare bones kebab shop that probably looks more like your typical late night Saturday last stop on a night out, but it'll be down to you to upgrade and redesign the whole shop to become a welcoming environment for everyone to come and dine at your restaurant. Change the whole look of a restaurant, as the game allows you to customize the whole shop. That down to the sign of the logo and the name of the restaurant, all the way down to the flooring and the seats that you want people to sit on. If it was me, I'd probably leave the job for a friend who has an eye in interior design. Create a menu from scratch, as you'll have to learn step by step what's the best way to each of your customers' stomachs. Expand your recipe book and learn to cook various recipes from different cuisines all around the world. Main courses, soups, appetizers and desserts are all waiting for your magical touch. These simulator games are always a blast to play, but I'm so used to them always being single player. The fact that I can play this with friends means it's a winner in my book. And secondly, you get to make the best kebab in town. That's quite the achievement if, like me, you live in an area where there's normally 10 kebab shops around you. And now we have the final game on the list for this week. This is Zero Grounds, a free-to-play, fast-paced online multiplayer shooter that's all about intense firefights within an anti-gravity zone. These zones will create pure chaos, as you'll have people just floating across the map, while you'll also have people shooting through the zones trying to get you. I can't imagine anything more fun. The low poly graphics is giving me BattleBit Remastered, but the difference that I can see is that you have a jetpack, which means you'll be able to fly all the way around the map through the zones and try to get the best picks. Each and every gun is fully customizable. This would be anything that you wish to change about the gun. And something that I always love to see, and I think it is fantastic, is that you do not unlock parts by paying into the game. No, you unlock them by playing. It means you'll never have to purchase a battle pass if you want some really cool skins. And sadly, as I say, that was the last game on the list. Many thanks for staying around until the end. It means so much to me, and I really do hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. Catch you all next time.